Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. My name's Donovan.
My name's Gordon.
And we're at round four. Round four of the Super Rugby's just happened this past weekend. So we're just going to do a quick run through all the games. I don't know, were you able to watch most of the games? But I wasn't able to.
No, I watched the Sharks versus the Bulls. That was an important game for us here in South Africa. Sad to say the Sharks got whacked.
Yeah.
I watched bits and pieces, snippets of the others. Because of the time zones, I don't have a tape to tape the games. But I didn't get... I think I watched the Rebels versus the Brumbies. And I didn't watch it from start to finish, little snippets of it.
I'll be honest too, with the Six Nations on this weekend, obviously we had the two big Six Nation games, and so obviously ended up watching those live, and I got to miss most of the games, but I did watch some of the games. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the scores and then quickly chat about them. So on the Friday we had the Hurricanes versus the Highlanders. Hurricanes won 25-22. I did watch that game. I thought it was
I didn't watch it.
It was a cracking game.
Yeah.
Real nice.
Good, solid rugby.
Yeah, New Zealand derby. It's also nice to see the Hurricanes back. I still think the Hurricanes they must be the second best team in the competition. I know they had a bit of they always start the season a little bit iffy, but I think they're the only team that can really contend with the Crusaders. That's my personal opinion. But it was a cracking game, good, hard, honest rugby, and that was a great way to start the weekend. Next game of the weekend, we got the Rebels versus the Brumbies.
Yeah, that was quite a nice win for the Rebels.
Yeah, it was actually, it was nice.
3 points is not much to brag about, but a win is a win, eh?
But I started watching the game because it happens while I'm at work, and so I watched the beginning of the game. And I think the Brumbies were like 18-0 in the lead at one point. It was like literally it was a game of two halves, which is like not the greatest saying in the world, but it's the truth. And the Rebels came out in the second half and they just playing direct rugby and they deserved their victory. Yeah. One thing I must say, I was watching that game. Obviously, Quade Cooper's their 10. I'm slowly being more impressed with Quade Cooper. He's always been an iffy kind of player for me, but he just seems to have come back and he's a lot more mature and he passes so fast. You must see him. He skips, but so flat, and he passes so fast. And it's amazing. It's really nice to see him back, and I'm glad that he's being now included in the Australian makeup going forward. Then the first game on Saturday, I also watched this game. You did sit with me and watch this game, Gordon. The Crusaders won the game 57-28 by the Chiefs.
That is so embarrassing. Can you imagine telling your mates
your Chief support
the next week, we were beaten 57-28.
That's a harding, eh?
It is a harding, eh? And the Chiefs, I don't know what has happened to them because they were actually quite a strong team, eh?
Yeah, I think
all the strong teams are now the weak teams.
Yeah.
Most.
Except the Crusaders, obviously. Look, I'm going to be honest, that Crusader side they've got talent to burn. They've got so much depth in every single position. They've got such great players. And you know what I find amazing when I watch them play is it's not like one person stands out. It's like the whole team stands out. They're all good at their job. And that's... I don't think the Crusaders are a better team than any one of those other teams in Super Rugby. They just do the simple things perfectly. Their passes are perfect. Everything's done perfectly, and that's what makes them a great team. That is
a harding.
That's a harding. Look, and that Chiefs side, I'm sorry, they've got some great players. I like Anton Leonard-Brown. I think he's an excellent All Black. Damon McKenzie's. Brodie Retallick.
Those are good names, right?
No, Brodie Retallick is a world-class player. If you're talking best locks in the world, he's in that conversation. And
it's strange that they go down 57-28, eh?
Well, look, I think they've lost their first 4 games now.
Wow.
They have to start winning games. If they don't start winning games now, they
be relegated.
Well, there's no relegation, but they're just not gonna. They're gonna come bottom of the New Zealand Conference, and that's normally where the Blues sit. But it looks like the Blues, the way that they're going and the kind of games that they're playing, and a lot more closer the games, I think the Blues may not end up in the bottom spot this
Yeah,
year.
I see. They beat the Sunwolves 2028.
28-20.
Sorry, 28-20.
It was a lovely game.
Yeah.
You know what I've been finding nice about the Sunwolves is they play such a beautiful rugby. You know, it's very free flowing, and it's always out wide, and they've got hot steppers. You know, it's like what's that song by Here Comes the Hot Stepper? I'm trying to remember what that song is, but they've just got such great.
Before my time, Don.
No. But it's just they just play such attractive rugby, and it's nice to actually watch a team that's willing to try things. You know? And the Chiefs try the same thing, and they just don't get it right. I just think the Sunwolves they're the real deal now. They're a team that you can't just pitch up on the day and get your points. And they have to play against them. And I'm happy for the Blues. All 4 tries by Rieko Ioane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's back on form. I'm glad the ball got to the wings. But yeah, I was saying that Big Will and 2 Cents are going to be super happy. I think 2 Cents was actually at the game.
Ah.
So I'm sure they must.
That's for you, 2 Cents.
They must have celebrated well into the night because it was nice to actually have the Blues starting to win again. Next game of the weekend. This was the only game I got wrong on Super Brew. Do you know all the home teams won? If you look at that, all the home teams won. Waratahs 28, Red 17. I didn't watch that game. I didn't watch the game. I've got it recorded, but I can only watch so much rugby in a day. Then the next game of the weekend, we had the Lions 47 and the Jaguares 39.
That's fair. At least the Jaguares put a score on the board.
Well, what was scary was I think the Lions at one point were 47-23 or so, 20 something in the last 10 minutes. The Jaguares scored most of their tries. And what frustrates me the most with the Lions at the moment is they are playing such loose rugby. There's absolutely no defense. And against Jaguares, who also a pretty free-flowing team, the score was going to be high. But when they come up against a team like the Crusaders or somebody, or maybe even the Reds, they've got good defenses. They're going to come unstuck. They really are going to come unstuck. And I'm hoping that they can actually rein it in a little bit, because free flowing rugby is great, but you've got to have some kind of defense, and it just doesn't seem. And without what's it, that tall guy, he's Mostert, Franco Mostert. With him gone now, they don't have a tackling machine or a person with a high work rate. So I'm hoping that they can sort out their defense.
Where has Mostert gone to?
He's gone to Gloucester in the UK. Yeah, but it's quite interesting because if you'd seen the interview with Rossi Erasmus, I think a lot of our players are going to start going overseas. But
shame, eh?
No, we've actually got a plan in motion to try keep them in the fold. So, but we'll do a video on that and discuss the new Springbok contract.
And then can I say the last one?
You've got, with absolute pleasure.
I don't want to say it should look like favoritism if I let Don.
I'm wearing a Sharks cap, so
it's Bulls versus Sharks. Now, gosh, what a slap in the face!
Exactly.
But I must just remind you, Sharks played on Bulls territory. That was at what was that stadium?
Loftus
Fairfield. I don't know what that means in English, but to see them get whacked 37-14.
Yeah, it was a dominant display.
And you know, we both from Sharks territory.
Even though I'm a Bull supporter.
Yeah, and even though I'm a Lions supporter. Well, I support rugby. I'm not really phased who wins. It's just whoever plays the best rugby has my praise.
Yeah. I agree.
Not that it's much.
Unbiasedly.
But my favourite team, as everybody knows, is the
All Blacks.
New Zealand.
But yeah, what I found with the game was I feel that the two teams that recruited the best in the off-season were the Rebels. They got a lot of the players from the Force, and they obviously got Quade Cooper and Will Gagne. And the Bulls. They got Skulk Brits and Dwayne Vermeulen and Roscoe Speckman on the wing. I think they recruited the absolute best. They've got now the grunt up front. That Schalk Brits, I must admit, you should have seen, was man of the match. The guy's smiling all the time, and he just sits there. He goes, "Hey, I'm enjoying my rugby." The guy's 37, and he's enjoying his rugby.
He's 37.
He's 37.
Wow.
And he says, he's enjoying his rugby. He's just having fun. He was looking forward to the bye week because then he doesn't have to play and he can relax. But I think they've got the grunt up front. They've got Andre Pollard who will punish you with kicks.
Is Andre Pollard leaving?
No, he's not leaving. He's not leaving. I think there's a few players that they're going to try keep in South Africa with the new Springbok contract.
To lose Andre Pollard.
See, I may be going off the topic here a bit, but before there used to be about 30 players that had Springbok contracts.
Yeah.
Okay, and it cost a certain amount of money, 40 million or whatever amount of rand. So now what they're doing is they're going to have 75 players on contract, but they rate them. So you have a top player. So let's say hookers. So your top hooker is going to be Malcolm Marx.
Yeah.
Actually, no, Schalk Brits is catching up very, very quickly. Let's take eighth man. Okay?
Yeah.
Dwayne Vermeulen is your top player.
Yeah.
So he's going to obviously be offered the biggest contract. But he has an opportunity to say there's 8 million for the eighth man. So he gets offered 4 million because that's his contract. But now there's another 4 players behind him that get lesser amounts. So it's 4 million, 2 million, 1 million, 500,000 or whatever. So he decides, no, I'm actually going to go play overseas. I might get this wrong, so just
much more.
If you guys think I've got it wrong, this is how I understood it. Just write down below, and then we can discuss it. So he may decide I actually can go earn 6 million in the UK. So he goes. Now that extra 4 million that was actually going to be used can actually now filter down further. So now they can actually have a succession plan. We can have 4 or 5 players in the background that we're building up, the 20-year-olds, and we manage those 75 players around the world. And I think Rassie Rasmus has got it right. Finally, we're just trying to say there's no point competing against these international clubs. We're just going to say, if you guys want to play overseas, but we still keep them in the fold. I have a feeling this is going to become more and more prevalent in Southern Hemisphere rugby. I know that Australia have a 50 cap rule. New Zealand, you have to play in New Zealand. I think New Zealand. I think there's more pride in the jersey.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think for the value of the rand and where we are and the amount of players that are playing overseas, we need to come up with a solution that works for us. But yeah, that's a completely different subject. Overall, I thought it was a great weekend of rugby. What the nicest thing about this weekend's rugby was all the home teams won. And it just goes to show, if you can keep your home as your fortress, it's very, very difficult for teams to come into your home and win. The crowds will come back. If they know that the Bulls aren't going to lose at Loftus, the crowds are going to come.
The crowd wasn't too bad.
It wasn't bad at Loftus.
Saturday. I mean, it was, say, 50% full.
Which is better than most
Better
years.
than 10% like last year.
Oh, flipping out. It's become quite atrocious. But I wasn't very impressed the week before with the Sharks game. I don't think there were too many people there
at Kings Park Stadium. They call it something else now. It's changed its name.
But I think, look, it's still early in the season. I looked at they didn't play at Eden Park. They played at the other stadium. But the big Cape Town where the Hurricanes played also wasn't too full.
The Sharks, the way I look at it, and I'm no rugby authority, I think the Sharks have got too many youngsters in there that haven't got sufficient experience.
Yeah.
And they need a bit more experience, and they need
cool heads.
Yeah, and
they need obviously you got Tendai, who's probably the coolest head that they have there. He's seen it, done it, got the T-shirt. He's still a world-class prop. So I think they need somebody in the back line that's seen it.
I reckon if they could bring Curran Bosch up to somewhere in the centre, because that's where he likes playing. He likes scoring tries.
But now see with Robert Dupree there, I think he's going to... Robert Dupree's a good fly-off, but he's leaving this year. So maybe Curran's going to come up to 10.
Again?
Yeah, he's leaving at the end of the season. He's going to go play in... I think for Sale Sharks in the UK.
Gosh, eh?
So yeah, a lot of the players are going overseas.
Well, they're following the money, eh?
Yeah, Aka van der Merwe's going. He's also leaving. So yeah, there's a few players that are going. But yeah, I thought it was a great weekend of rugby. It was really, really good games. The derbies were really good. My favourite game was probably the first game, the Hurricanes versus the Highlanders. From a pure dominance point of view, I thought the Crusaders were they're on another level. They are the best team in.
The Highlanders are from Otago, eh?
Yeah, from
Yeah.
South Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Highlanders are from I think Otago.
Yeah.
South Island Crusaders are from Christchurch. Hurricanes are from Wellington.
Hurricanes could be Wellington, yeah.
I think that the Chiefs are from, I don't know what the players, Bay of Plenty, that side.
Yeah.
And then
That's North Island.
North Island, and then the Blues are from Auckland. Listen, guys, if we got it wrong, then just put it down in the thing that we've got it wrong. But you can see we try follow as much as we can as we can. But yeah, I thought it was a great weekend of rugby. But listen, guys, I hope you guys have an absolute wonderful week. Any last words you got for everyone, Gordon?
No, not at all. It's just that I've had to wear this jersey to be neutral because there's no New Zealand the country side playing. So I wore this because if I'm just looking, there's one or two New Zealand teams that we're playing. But not representing New Zealand as such.
Yeah.
So I wore this just to be neutral.
But listen, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Chat soon. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.